Hey everybody, happy Wednesday. Welcome to Coffee and a Card. I'm Leslie with the Plaid Poodle. We're going to make a fun card today. I'm going to wait a second while everyone has a chance to join us. Thought I had my notifications off. Let's try that. If you're here, say hello. How's your day going? I'm having a pretty good day. It's beautiful here in Kansas City. Hi, Donna. I'm gonna drag the comments so I can see them. There we go. Anyway, we're gonna make a Slimline card today. Hi, Carol. Yeah, I'm glad you caught me live too. They're kind of on trend right now, the Slimline cards, and the one we're going to make will fit into a number 10 business envelope, or you can, make your own envelope. I might do that in a future episode, whatever these are called. Show you how to make some envelopes. But the card today's, I don't think it's going to be lengthy. It just has a lot of steps, and I didn't do any of my die cutting ahead of time, so I didn't want to take the time to do the envelope too, because I know your time is precious. And I am going to get off of here and look at the new holiday catalog. It is going live today for demonstrators. So I am going to grab a glass of iced tea and go sit on my porch and take a gander at that online. So if you're interested in being a demonstrator, we get early bird looks and discounts and all kinds of things. And right now Stampin Up, I know I've mentioned it a gajillion times, is having a joining special where you get an additional bundle with your starter kit. And if you'd like to talk to me about joining my team, yeah, I am too. It's supposedly thicker, and we get one more month. It's going to go live for customers August 1st instead of September 1st. So we get one more month to enjoy it. Let's turn the camera around and get started. Don't forget the June Hostess code. If you place an order with me and use that code, your name goes in a drawing for the My Meadow stamp set this month, is the one I'm giving away. And also, tomorrow is the last day to register for the June card class to go. And we're using the By the Dock stamp set and dockside dies to make these 4 cards. All the information for that is on my blog, theplaidpoodle.com. If you go, there's a tab that says online classes. So if you want any information about that, tomorrow is the last day to register for that. Okay, so the card we're going to make today. I feel very organized today. Let's see if it goes better. Monday, I forgot to mention that I had been up for about an hour and a half, dogs barking in our neighborhood at 3:45 in the morning. I have no clue, but more than one set of dogs, and they were outside, which they're house dogs, and I wondered why they were outside. So I was dragging Monday. So I know I'm a hot mess on here always, but Monday I had an excuse. Okay, this is the card we're gonna make. Always thinking of you, and it's a Slimline card, which I guess just means tall and skinny. Tall and slim. So we're going to use the Birds and Branches stamp set, and that comes in a bundle as well. It's in the new catalog. The stamp set and coordinating dies. We're going to use the dies today, the nest and the 2 bird dies. And that's all the dies we're going to use today. And then we are going to use for the sentiment, I love this little simple little stamp set, Field of Flowers. It also has a bundle with a punch for these little flowers down here, but it's a good standalone as well. And I have samples of both. I showed this one on, I showed all of these at my open house, but I showed this yesterday on Facebook because I found a beautiful Oriole in my yard, which surprised me to death, and I was tickled pink. There's the samples with the birds and branches stamp set. Here's a little sample with the Field of Flowers stamp set. It's just got some really fun little always love, always believe, always, a lot of always. I love the font. And then here's a little simple little card too using that stamp set. So these are fun little stamp sets, and this card's really fun to make. To make a slimline card, and I sized this so that it would fit in a number 10 business envelope, you're going to need a piece of, I wrote everything down today so I wouldn't get lost, 8 7/8 by 7 3/4. So it's 8 7/8 inch long, and it's 7 3/4 inches tall, whatever. And then you're going to score it at 3 7/8. That's the center to make your card base. Then for the little balmy blue layer, this piece measures 8 5/8 by 3 5/8. So we're just going to take that. Let me grab some adhesive. I'm going to use this new Stampin' Seal. I've heard that you have to use a gentle touch with this, so I'm used to really going to town with the pressure. So that's going to go right on the center of our card front. And I will have all the measurements on my blog later today. If not, first thing tomorrow, because I got to look at that catalog first. Okay, we're going to set this aside, and we're going to take a piece of Whisper White, and it measures the same. Got a goober on my card. It measures the same as our card because we're going to cut it out. I don't know if you can tell. I've used the stitch rectangle dies, and I'm going to show you how to make them as long as you want on our die cutting machine. So I've cut this piece of paper 8 7/8 by 3 5/8, and then we'll cut it down with our die. And I'm using the stitch rectangle dies, which I think there's 9 dies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 dies. I use these all the time. They really finish off the edges of your layers on your cards. And I'm using the second to the largest rectangle die. Now, usually I do this standing up so I can see really well. We'll try here to get this done sideways. I was looking for my brand new plates so you didn't have to see my messy ones, but I couldn't find them. I went to that crop this weekend and I took them, and they're probably still in my bag. So I'm going to tape this. I'm using my purple repositional tape on one end of our cardstock, and then I don't want it to cut right here. So when I put it in the machine, I'm going to put my plate just short of that, or you could just stop just short of that, if that makes sense. And these rectangle dies sometimes are hard to get in here, and y'all, I want to do it this way. because I don't want to cut this. And I don't think it would because my plate wasn't there, but let's not jinx it. And my rectangle dies, for some reason, they make that big snappy noise. I think everything's okay. Hi, Letha. Okay, we're still attached, and that's okay. I'm going to move this since I'm not standing, and so I can show this to you. So now I'm going to place this die just over where we already cut, if that makes sense. You can do these with your square dies. And when you fit it on there, it'll kind of catch on those lines that you've already cut. You'll feel it. So I want to make sure we're straight on here. And then another thing that's helpful is to kind of put your tape where you want to stop as well. So I want to stop my machine right there. This is just a little trick to kind of use your dies in a different way. For a couple years we didn't have rectangle dies, and we would do this with our square dies. I'm looking for my plate, there it is, to make them into rectangle dies. So just like I did before, I'm going to just put my plate right here because I don't want to cut it in half. Oops. But I want everything to go in there. This is where it helps for me to be on up over everything, but because my plate wants to drag. Okay, girls, I'm going to stand up so you're going to see. I don't know what you're going to see because I really need to get on top of this. For some reason, let's try going this way. I don't think it's going to matter. This is my newer die cutting machine, and for some reason it doesn't want to grab. Y'all, when I did this for myself earlier, it was just fine. I'm going to do this. That could be why. This little lip here. Trying to get it to grab that top plate. I'll do this. I don't think this will make a difference, but let's give it a shot, shall we? It just keeps wanting to push that plate back. You guys, I think there's gremlins. Gremlins telling you. Here we go. We'll go this way. Jeez. Hopefully, yay, it did it. There's gremlins when I turn this, when I click on that live button. Sometimes I think I'm not going to show them that because it's going to mess up on me, but it didn't. We did it. Okay, I'm going to leave that close by. Okay, that was the hardest part. Woo! Thanks for your patience. Now you can see we have a perfectly stitched rectangle. Sorry about all that. Woo. Okay. The next thing we're going to do, I'm going to set this aside and we're going to stamp our bird and nest images. And I'm going to use my Stamparatus a lot today because there's some placement things and it's just easy. So I'm taking a 4x4" piece of crumb cake cardstock. Make sure that magnet's not in the way. And I'm using soft suede ink. I'm going to grab this little stamp box. I'm going to ink up the nest and the birds with the soft suede. And I'm going to go one more time just because I want them to show up really good. Okay, I'm going to do that. And let me take my Stampin' Chamois and kind of clean this off. I think I got some on my magnet. All right, so we're going to cut those out real quick. And then we're going to set those aside. These won't be hard. These will be very simple. Might have to use some tape because my magnet's a little, sometimes your magnet have a mind of its own. Do y'all have a magnetic platform? And does it get a mind of its own? They do work better if your plate is not as scratched up as mine. But I like to get the life out of my plates. And as long as they're flat, I use them. Okay, we're going to cut those 3 images out. And we are done with the die cutting. And we're going to set these little guys aside. Actually, we're going to do one little thing. I'm going to take a balmy blue watercolor pencil. You can get these to color on the darker cardstocks like this. And I'm going to just make these into little blue birds. Have a little blue on their wings. This is from the, there are 2 sets of watercolor and the watercolor pencils, and the balmy blue is in set number 2. I think that's what it's called. Watercolor Pencil Assortment 2. So there's their little blue wings. I don't know if the camera picks it up. Just adds a little something. Okay, now we're going to sponge the front of the perfectly rectangular die cut rectangle with some balmy blue ink, Stampin' Sponge, And I just kind of swirled it around the middle where the birds are and just kind of built it up till it was as dark as I wanted it to be. Oh, Letha, good. Letha just joined my team again. Thank you, Joy. Welcome, Joy. Turn backwards. So you think if I would have put that upside down, Letha, is that what you're talking about when I was die cutting, trying to do this rectangle? Letha took advantage of the joining incentive this month, and her kit came. Well, you know, the Christmas catalog, or what do you call it? The holiday mini, I think is what they're calling it, is supposed to be online for demonstrators this afternoon. So I'm going to get done here and go take a peek. And then I think we get to start ordering in July. Okay, so I just made a little, let's put a little bit more over here. Just a little blue sky. They're up in the tree, so I wanted to have a little sky for them. Then I stamped the always, well, let's do the branches first, and I'm going to use my Stamparatus for that too. Because I'll tell you what you want to do when you get ready to do your card, if you're doing this card. Decide on your card front where you want your little nest to be, and then that'll help you determine where you want to do your branches, because I wanted the nest to look like it was sitting in the crook of those branches. So that's why I'm using the Stamparatus for that. Because I've already placed my branches right there. And I'm going to use the soft suede ink again. Whoop. And you saw that I just flipped my plate over when I did that. Okay. Because I have one more plate, we're gonna use the Stamparatus one more time. And then if I get a lot of ink here, I kind of like to clean it up just in case. Normally there wouldn't be a problem, but these online gremlins, normally the stamp is higher than the base or the plate, and it wouldn't be a problem. And I think I will do one more little swipe since I can. Okay, now we're going to do the leaves. We're done with the soft suede, and for the leaves I'm using Garden Green, and I put them on the other plate, the second plate, so they would go right where I want them to go. Just to save a little time for y'all. It's certainly not necessary to use a stamp placement tool, but I got it all set up earlier, so. That looks good. Okay. So fun. The hard part's over. Now we're going to put on our little, let's do our always. And I'm doing that in Memento ink. Memento ink. It's spelled M-E-M-O, so I wonder if it's memento. Sometimes I call it momento. And this always, there's a perfect little spot here right above the branches. And I'm going to stick my head in here probably so it's straight. Okay. Now we can put it on the card front because we've finished all of our difficult things. We're just going to put the bird and the nest on. Now you can see that beautifully stitched large rectangle a little better. Was it worth the effort? I think so. Okay, I'm going to just put our little nest on here with some Stampin' Dimensionals. And I'm going to put them kind of down here lower on the nest. Because I'm going to tuck one of those little birds in there. Isn't that cute? It looks like the little nest is sitting there. And then I'm going to adhere this little guy or girl, whatever, with some multi-purpose liquid glue. She's sitting in the nest. And then I'm going to put this little guy over here. Where's my sample? There we go. And then on the inside, we can put always thinking of you is what I used. Always in my heart, always my friend. There's really a lot of choices with that stamp set. And I will have, like I said, the measurements for the card and everything over on my blog later today. And I always send my video over to my YouTube channel. So if you have trouble finding it, you know, scrolling down, and sometimes I don't put all of them on my blog. I usually send them all over to my YouTube channel, so the replay will be over there if you want to review it. Okay. Oh, we forgot to put the little linen thread around our little guy, our little nest. That's the cutest part. We'll see if we can do it with the dimensionals under there. Might have to bring it down through the front. Oh, perfect. I kind of moved my stuff around this afternoon because I wanted my big shot over here next to me because we were going to do so much die cutting. I didn't want to have to keep reaching for it. Oh, I'm going to have to go around the top. Normally you would want to do this before you put it on the card. Carol, this will fit in a business size envelope, a number 10 envelope, like what you probably, the way we used to pay our bills, a business size envelope. You can also make an envelope, and I'll probably do a thing on how to make an envelope. It does take, to make an envelope for this card, takes quite a bit of, you have to use a 12 by 12 sheet of paper. But it will fit into a number 10 envelope. And I'm gonna get some. Use my little tweezers. You can probably order fancier, like stationery type number 10 envelopes, or get them like at Office Max or Staples. Like the number 10 that I have here at my house, they have the blue safety inside. They're not very fancy, but I wouldn't mind receiving a card in one. If I opened it and this card was in it, I wouldn't care what kind of envelope it came in. But you can probably, in fact, I'm sure you can get some fancier stationery type envelopes. Yeah, that's a good idea, Donna. I could do Make It Monday and do envelopes. There you go. Now I don't have to plan Monday. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you how to do liners for your envelopes and how to make an envelope. Okay, then I had some pearls that were just left over from my Stampin' paper pumpkin that I had. But you could use just pearls or color plain pearls with your alcohol markers, your Stampin' Blends. But these were kind of blue and I had them sitting around. I thought I'm going to just use these. I always just like to add a little sparkle sometimes. It just needed one more thing. You know how you make a card and it needs one more thing? I thought this needed one more thing. Okay, that's the card. Thank you for coming by, y'all, and commenting. I'll put your names in to receive one of these beautiful cards in the mail. If you have any questions, thanks for the hearts. That's so fun. Okay, if there's no questions, if you think of something, just put it in the comments below. I always review them later. Thank you, Carol. Thank you, girls, for coming by. Have a great afternoon, and if I don't talk to you before, I'll see you at Make It Monday, and we'll do some envelope things. Thank you, Donna Pollock, for your great idea. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.